Welcome everybody again. Today we run the Empowering Sales Teams with AI for boosting sales and productivity. Your host, myself, I'm Ioan Carpus. I'm the founder and managing partner of Six Path Consulting, and Claudio Truzzi, who's the AI expert and partner at Six Path. Claudio, would like to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Ioan. Also, thanks for having me here with you and our attendees today. Okay, welcome. Good morning. Well, actually, good afternoon, everybody, at least here from Brussels. So my name is Claudio Truzzi. I have a master in microelectronic engineering, a PhD in nanotechnology, and an executive MBA from Solvay. I am here AI strategist and partner at Six Path Consulting. I'm a founder of a consulting company called AI, which is also providing services on AI implementation in business. I am a senior AI research fellow and AI director at the conference board, which is again a big think tank and independent international business research institution. And I also have a role as a director of research and support activities at the local university here in Brussels. I'm writing a lot about AI, a few articles specifically on AIs, but overall 80 publications in total. I have a few patents, nanotechnology, optoelectronics. I've been a serial deep tech startup entrepreneur and also researcher. And today I'm here with you to share my passion, my discovery, my way of viewing things, my frameworks actually on how to really use AI. As we will see, 90% of people, according to my experience, are using it wrong. And that is the more true, the higher up you go into the senior management team. So we will have time to view that into a bit more details.
Basically, to finish with introducing our organization, our team provides all kinds of services from inspiration to training, design sprints, strategic projects, and digital transformation. And these are some of the clients we're working with, both large companies and small from different geographies and different sectors, as you can see. So let's do like a quick warm-up, maybe in 30 seconds. You can write in the chat where you're based and what brought you to this webinar. All right, thank you. So happy to see that we have participants from lots of parts of the world, from Singapore to India, Dubai, Madrid, London, Netherlands. So welcome again, everybody. We'll try to make this session as relevant as possible to you. Okay, so Claudio, why don't you take over in talking about the state of B2B sales?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, you are probably more expert than I am, but I'm exposed to all these kind of problems while trying to bring AI solutions to augment, to empower this sales team in AI solutions. So that's the kind of things that I bump against more often when discussing pain point and frictions in their day-to-day processes. You know that better than me. Key challenges for business-to-business sales today, we can have them as inefficient lead qualifications. How much time is actually wasted in trying to go through the entire funnel only to come up with an unqualified lead or lead that do not get back to you. That is an extremely painful and frustrating process that everybody in sales knows very well. It has become even a sort of a de facto standard. There is nothing you can do about that. Well, we will see that we can do a little bit on that. Data overload is like, drowning in salt water and longing for some fresh water. Fresh water would be the insights that we extract from data, but we tend to have too many data and not knowing exactly how to extract what we need from them. Not to talk about poor forecasting accuracy. Again, that depends on the quality of the data, the quality of the algorithms, and most times they're not. The quality of the data is not there yet to help us forecasting accurately. Now, AI, as we will see, can do a lot of things. generative AI in particular, this new type of AI that, with ChatGPT and the like came up about 2 years ago, there is like a whole set, a portfolio of new tools that are very promising, but we don't know exactly how to use them correctly. We can automate repetitive tasks. I'm sure you all are already doing that, but we can go way up in terms of refinement on how to use them, like personalizing client interactions, trying to arrive at what is called hyper personalization at scale, being personal with millions of people, and so on and so forth. So that's the kind of things that AI can bring to that. And this enables a very, very important shift in this role. We are basically stopping selling products or services, but actually providing tailored value to the customer. And this is a very important change because KPIs are changing, because the approach is changing. This is, seen very hard even in the Big Four, the consulting companies. They will be forced in a matter of months to stop, invoicing by the hour and invoicing by a fraction of the KPIs that will be met thanks to their effort. So customers, they want more and more engagement, more and more ownership by consultants, just as an example here. So just to remember this shift. And here is, again, speaking about the Big Four, an analysis from McKinsey of a few months ago, showing how generative AI in particular can impact productivity by business functions. This is a result of a large survey they ran last year. And as you know, in generative AI, things change very fast. So let's take it with a pinch of salt. But you see how the darker the blue color, the more impacted is the productivity of that business function. And we can see the first column is what we're talking about, marketing today, marketing and sales. And we also have customer operations under at the second column. And you can see that it is all pretty dark blue, meaning that Gen AI is expected to highly impact, like, 5 to 10% of the industry revenue for the marketing and sales here. So that's a kind of, and this is across all industry. See how uniform the color is across all industries. And there is a reason for that. Marketing, sales, they are already the most digitized functions among with IT. So they are already poised to reap quickly the most benefits out of this generative AI revolution. Now, thanks to my exposure to, to discussing with literally hundreds of senior level executives at the C-suite, so CEO, VPs, directors, at Fortune 500 companies worldwide, and, also providing coaching, individual coaching to them, or workshops or master classes, I've come to the following conclusion. There are 3 steps, 3 big barriers for AI adoptions, which are converted into a 3-phase approach to adopt AI at scale in business. First is the individual resistance to change. What is this platform that looks like Google, but it is not like Google? If I type some basic things, I got some, unimpressive answer back. And why is everybody excited about that? That's first bringing the executive level away from fears to facts and have them do some hands-on exercise solo so that they come to this aha moment and they realize how they can work together with AI rather than just write an email and then throw it to AI as an afterthought. Once they are convinced, they want to, include their teams. So the phase 2 is implementation excellence at team level. This is typically done through workshops, really hands-on workshops, like 1, 2 days, even 1 week workshops where the teams will be divided in groups, and they will work together, learning not only how to boost personal productivity, but also how to boost the team's productivity. And that requires, some meta thinking beyond the prompt, beyond becoming yourself, productive and efficient. And once the individual and the teams become fluent in interacting with AI in general and generative AI in particular, then we can attack phase 3, that is making the organization AI first, AI driven. How do we identify the right use cases for the specific DNA of our own specific company? And how do we make sure that we have everything in place in order to run the first quick wins, the first pilot project, and then to scale up successfully without falling flat on our face? So that is exactly the kind of framework that we provide and the kind of consulting services at a strategic level that we provide at Six Paths Consulting. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into some live demonstrations. We wanted this webinar to be like no other webinar you've seen, where you see a lot of PowerPoint slides. Slides are done. I'm now becoming very, very exposed. Basically, I'm going to try something that is always very dangerous to try during a webinar. So a live demo using generative AI, large language models. It can go well. Please forgive us if it does not. What we will do, I have prepared a few exercises. In the end, once this is finished, we will copy them all and send them together with the video recording to all of you so that you can try them yourself. Let me just start then by sharing.
So while you set up your sharing, Claudio, let me give you a bit of wrapping up. So basically, we plan to empower individuals, teams, and organizations, right? So today we'll focus on some tactics for individuals. But of course, our, let's say, vision is to help, let's say, CEOs or senior leadership teams embrace AI in their organization without any compromise, right? So, up to a security company or cloud company, they need to be able to embrace AI in managing all the risks associated. Yeah. So.
Excellent. Before I share just maybe an additional point, I think this is going to be important. We're going to run the first exercise through that. Together with all these exercises, we will also send you a number of resources that you can find on LinkedIn, on the web, specifically a few people, a few personalities who are really driving this AI mindset, AI first mindset. How do you empower yourself really in using AI without wasting too much time and effort in these kind of things that are called prompt engineering, but really focus on the content. So less incantation, more content-oriented things. Now, I'm going to use the 4-layer principle of Ali K. Miller. Ali K. Miller, you can find on LinkedIn. She's a #1 top voice, 1.5 million followers. She's really pushing the envelope of how to boost personal and team productivity using AI. And she's noticed, as I noticed, the following, that basically we are stuck at layer 1, whereas there are 4 layers of use of AI. Layer 1, we start with a generic short question, something you might have Googled 4 years ago. But then layer 2, you start adding more details. You are more specific, include tone, format preferences. You start guiding the output. And then you have a layer 3, which is your own customization, where you provide deeper context about who you are, your goals, your priorities. And this is where ChatGPT can tailor responses that align with your unique needs and objectives. So way more customized. But then there is a 4th layer, which is the most powerful, and that I call the strategic layer, where you would focus on the end action. What do you really want to do with this research or with this task? And that you can tell ChatGPT, because then you can use AI to get there faster. You can ask ChatGPT to create actionable plans, strategize, or even draft outputs like emails or timelines to save time and accelerate your work. So let me then start showing, the screen, which is here, and share. Okay, here we have the 4 layer, as I just mentioned, generic, refined, customized, and strategic. Tailored for this example. Why don't we take this first prompt? This is a very generic prompt, one that you might recognize. What are the current trends in B2B sales strategies? We go
Just
to
let you know, Claudio, we see your Word files in case.
yes,
Okay.
yes. But I want you to show to see. You
All
know,
right.
I have pre-prepared in all the prompt in a Word file, and that's perfectly there to see. Instead of putting them on PowerPoint and then mixing, basically I have to copy and paste for the sake of going faster. Because you will see one of the prompts are very long. So if I have to spend time in typing them. Now, one thing I've noticed when providing this kind of demo, I might tend to swap and go a little bit too fast for the audience. If you do not follow anymore what I'm doing, please tell so. I think the Microsoft of everybody can be used. So you can stop me anytime and I can then revert back. Let's start with the generic prompt. What are the current trends in B2B sales? Well, easy. We do this. I put this aside and then we ask it. And hopefully searching the web. Okay, here we have it sales models.
Sorry, not sure you were sharing.
Okay. Let me see if I'm now sharing the right one. Do you see a ChatGPT window?
That's
Yes.
a good one. Hey, do it
Okay,
again.
thank you. Sorry, I was sharing the other screen, which is also not nothing secret. It's there for you. Okay, so this is the prompt. What are the current trends in B2B sales strategy? This is a typical Google search that our mind transition to ChatGPT, basically providing it zero context of why we are asking this, but still providing some sort of, vanilla answer. I would say sales model, omnichannel strategies, advanced sales. So a nice long list of things that, okay, we can do something about that, or maybe we cannot do a lot about that. Now let's switch to a refined prompt. Okay, now I'm starting giving a little bit more context. Let me start new, fresh. Summarize the top 5 trends in B2B sales strategies for 2025. Let me correct that. Focusing on the impact of technology and personalization, present the findings in a professional tone suitable for a sales manager. You see that I'm guiding already the output. And we let him do its thinking. And you can already see, and again, I will provide you a copy of the output as well. You can already see how it becomes a little bit more specific now. AI-driven sales enablement, hyper-personalization at scale. I was referring to that before. Focus on value-based selling. So ChatGPT tends to agree with us, right? And you see that it is less generic, also more specific, sharpened up, and a little bit more to the point. Now let's ramp up the game again, like making a customized prompt. A customized prompt, you start inserting your own specifics into the previous prompt. As a sales team leader in a SaaS company targeting mid-market enterprises, I need insights into B2B sales strategies that leverage AI tools, prioritize approaches that improve lead generation, enhance personalization, and streamline the sales process. Include examples of real-world applications if possible. You see now how I am getting away from the mere task and elevating myself into a more strategic thinking. I'm providing the entire workflow here. I'm basically also describing why I'm needing it. Okay, so here we have, how to improve B2B sales strategies using AI tools, AI-powered prospecting. And here it is providing tools name, example, again, automated list scoring, how the approach works, what tools are there, and some examples, and so on and so forth. You see, personalization, approach, tools, and example. Well, this is becoming way, way more actionable than the two prompt output that we had before. It may or may not apply to you, but that's not a problem, because once you are at the end, you can then further tailor. For instance, yeah, number 2 seems very interesting. Can you tell me more? And so on and so forth. That's where you start then at a very actionable point, a very good, down to earth, practical discussion with it. And then we can start, we can consider the 4th level, the strategic prompts. And how does the strategic prompt looks like? Analyze 5 recent trends in B2B sales, focusing on how AI tools like ChatGPT can address challenges such as lead qualifications, proposal customizations, and objection handling. For each trend, outline 3 actionable strategies we can adopt to improve our sales cycle. Finally, draft a follow-up email template address addressed to potential leads. And here again, it maintains the same broad categories as we saw before: personalization at scale, data-driven decision-making, shift towards self-service buying, but then with, a description, the challenge, and what you could do with the AI to power your strategies in order to meet those challenges, like crafting unique, relevant proposals quickly, and scaling personalization across a large volume of leads. Use ChatGPT to analyze CRM data and extract specific pain point, blah, blah, blah. Okay, some of them could be still a little bit, generic or simplistic to you. To me, not being B2B sales, are already very more strategic oriented. Again, I will provide you all this with the follow-up template email so that I can quickly operationalize all that and start doing something else. Okay, while I'm opening up the new exercise, now we go through a couple of exercises. If you have any questions, it's probably already time to ask for it. What do you think? Or should we, Ioan, questions?
No, let's change a bit the format, and let's see if anybody has questions at this point. Or maybe share your experience regarding this topic. Yeah, if not, we do Q&As afterwards at the end.
Happy to step forward.
Hello. I heard some. Okay, no problem. Listen, you see that I will show a couple of exercises of demos, basically. They are all the same. There is a scenario, there is a task, and there is an objective. And then the prompt that you use for that. So the scenario here is, I hope you can read it. Maybe I can make it larger. So it's more relatable for you. First one, easy one. A B2B client is manufacturing is looking for a cost-effective solution to streamline operations. The key client pain point is an input such as high operational cost and inefficiency. And we use ChatGPT to generate a personalized email, pitching a solution that emphasizes operational cost saving and efficiency, with the objectives to show how AI can craft highly relevant and tailored messaging. This is the prompt. It will become clearer in ChatGPT. Write a professional email to a manufacturing company addressing their challenge of high operational cost. Highlight how our solution reduces cost by 20% through automation and improves efficiency across production line. Simple. And again, what I'm showing here today for this couple of exercises is the basic level. You see, I'm not providing context. I'm not customizing it. There is no strategy here. Once you will receive this package from us, it's going to be your homework if you want to do that. It's going to be your mission, should you accept to do it, to try the same but then at the, the refined mode with a little bit more of context, or with the layer 3 customized to you, or even layer 4 with a strategic thinking. And this could be a good start for you to start, becoming more fluent in all the different layers. And here is subject unlock 20% cost saving here. And you see, we know all that ChatGPT can write an email. And you can see that, the tone is a little bit neutral. To me, it's a little bit robotic. There are ways to guide the style of ChatGPT to make it a little bit more to your voice. You just provide example of your own emails, 3 to 5 examples of how you write, and ask ChatGPT to write according to your styles. And you see how it is already a very nice and efficient email. Again, if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. A second one would be, maybe you can skip exercise 2 and do a customer objection handling, which is very, very, relevant for everybody of us. We have a potential client raising objections about pricing, like your solution is too expensive. And then we ask ChatGPT how to generate empathetic, value-oriented responses. And it is as simple as asking it to respond empathetically to this objection. Your solution is too expensive. Focus on long-term ROI and cost-saving benefits to justify the pricing. Again, basic level, this is layer 1. Up to you, if you wish, then to expound and make it more refined, more customized, more strategic. I understand pricing can be a concern. It's an important consideration for any decision. That said, our solution is designed to deliver significant value over the long term, far outweighing the upfront cost. And then it guides and try to nudge the lead to at least reconsider their position and start discussing by breaking down, for instance, the potential ROI together. So it allows at least not to start from a blank page, which is already powerful enough. But if it's okay, Ioan, I would like to skip one of the simple exercises and go on now at the strategic level exercise, if that's okay.
That would be more interesting.
Yeah, which will show, because what I've shown so far, it's an after effect. We first have the problem and we throw it to ChatGPT, hey, solve it. Now, this is different. This is really co-working, using ChatGPT as a partner to co-create a solution. Imagine this. So the scenario setup is comparing competitor proposal for a strategic edge. There are 2 competing proposals addressing the same problem. And how is it so? Let me go and get now those files. I have created, of course, with the help of ChatGPT, a fictional company called Secure Med Solutions, which is active in the healthcare technology, global provider of cloud-based electronic health record systems, patient management software, and telemedicine platform. Over 30 countries, so really a multinational company catering to hospital, clinics, and private practices. They have cybersecurity risk challenges, regulatory compliance challenges, operational complexity challenges, and scalability. 4 very common, but very hurting challenges and difficult to tackle. And then there are 2 companies. You are working for as a sales rep of Cloud Fortress Security, which would like to get Secure Med as one of their customers. But then you have prepared the proposal. But then you came across, by chance, to a competing proposal from your worst competitor, Aegis Vault System, that also quoted a Secure Med for the similar kind of services. So now, what do? You have 3 files. The one describing Secure Med, sorry. This one, which is your proposal as Cloud Fortress sales team, with the proposal title, Empowering Secure Med with end-to-end cybersecurity and cloud resilience, very long proposal. It so proposed solutions for the 4 pain point of Secure Med, with even a financial overview, 450,000 annually for the proposed package, optional add-on with volume discount, terms and condition, everything. So it is very simplified, of course, it's in 1 page. And this you sent to Secure Med and you were very happy. But then Secure Med came back to you actually because you were all friends. That's not very deontologically correct, but still these things happen. And say, hey, look at this. We have received a competing offer from your best friends from Aegis Vault Systems, also addressing the same thing, but much cheaper, 300,000, but that's annually, right? So it depends. Discount offers, which is larger, optional add-in are less expensive. Terms and conditions seem to be more compelling. What can you do? And now this is what you can do. Let me take here. Well, why don't I do it online? What I can do is the following. I take the 3 files, which are here. I have fictional company sales proposal. Sorry. Those 3 files are the files of fictional company, Cloud Fortress, and Aegis Vault, right? And I simply copy them directly to ChatGPT. 1, 2, 3, the Word file. I'm gonna now try and find back the prompt, which should already be here somehow. Yes. And this is the prompt. You see that it is already somewhat longer. And I copy the prompt, which we will read together. You are the sales representative of Cloud Fortress Security. You have sent a sales proposal to Secure Med Solution. Accidentally, you managed to get a copy of a competing proposal to the same company by your worst competitor. Now, can you please analyze and compare the strengths and weaknesses of these proposals and identify areas where Cloud Fortress proposal can better address customer needs and provide a strategic edge? When done, please improve the original proposal by integrating your recommendations. You see, I do not simply ask ChatGPT to objectively and critically analyze and perform this, which is called a gap analysis of 2 documents, and highlight strengths and weaknesses of both, but also identify potential edge for improvement for my proposal and directly integrated it. So directly making a proposal, a second version of my proposal, which is more resilient and most likely to get accepted. Here it is. It is strengths and weaknesses of Cloud Fortress, of Aegis Vault System, strategic recommendations, and improved proposal with a better financial overview. It took 10 seconds to do something that takes, a B2B sales team probably 1 day. Of course, we don't have to take this for granted. Of course, now it is the opportunity for us, experts in the field and humans, to play our role of being human in the loop. The human in the loop has to provide a very careful, context-rich and precise input so that generative AI can do their stuff. And then we need to, as experts in the field, to revise and carefully check that the output makes sense, is reasonable, and it is not hallucinating. See, there are strengths and weaknesses for Cloud Fortress Security. That's a strength. It's a comprehensive suite covering cloud security, emphasis on real-time threat monitoring, strong SLA guarantee, 99.99% real-time. But let's see the weaknesses. Higher base cost compared to Aegis Vault. Add-on like advanced threat intelligence are expensive, driving the total cost further up. And there is a long contract commitment of minimum 2 years. Okay. Now, Aegis Vault can focus on continuous security validation and proactive threat simulation, lower base cost, flexible add-on, looks like more budget friendly, shorter commitment, AI-driven insights. Wow, that's a good one. But there are weaknesses, limited emphasis on real-time response and recovery, less robust integration. Looks like, Cloud Fortress is the incumbent here, and Aegis Vault is the underdog trying, the runner-up to get some market shares. Here, how Cloud Fortress could improve then their own sales proposal to try and still win the lead. Highlight real-time benefits, since this is their strength, highlight better the strength, emphasize how real-time threat monitoring directly addresses secure SMED. Flexible contract term, maybe you can offer an optional one-year contract term to match AGI's flexibility. So here it is suggesting to compromise on your strict, incumbent-like terms. Enhanced cost appeal, propose an additional discount. Again, it's basically simple strategy, just match what your competitor is proposing. But then adding proactive features like integrating AI-driven predictive analytics. And customized pitch. If you ask me, this is really a very bare minimum that ChatGPT could do. It is simply taking what's the strong point of the competitor and plopping them, copying and pasting them into your own. I think you can do better than that, but it is vanilla answer because my input was a vanilla input. Secure med description was half a page instead of sending the entire financial reports of 2 years plus a link to their website. The sales proposal were just 1 page long, very basic, and not the typical 10-page long proposal that you can have in this. And then you may have had the transcript of online meetings you might have had with secure med representatives, from which ChatGPT could have extracted some sentiment analysis and understand their positioning and playing much more into the nuances. So with a much larger corpus of context, which is also way more detailed and customized to the specific situation at hand, you can then have ChatGPT come up with very creative suggestion at par. Also, one thing that I could have done is instructing ChatGPT to be very creative. I could just bluntly say that, do not provide me generic, fluffy, do not just copy one into the other, just be creative, come up with a compelling proposal. So you can see it is not incantation, it is not prompt engineering. There are no perfect way of using, but there is this co-building something that in the end is extremely valuable, and it is been where you put a lot of yourself, a lot of your expertise. It is not just copy and paste from what generative AI is stating. Do I have time, Ioan, to go?
Let me change gears and take a couple of questions from the chat.
Good.
We have 15 minutes left, so let's start with this question. Ramon is asking, in this case, the proposals are in the same format, which could make it more easy to make a comparison.
Correct.
Do you have examples where the two proposals are in a very different format?
Not here because I cannot share them. They are confidential, but indeed you can provide one, not only the content, but also in the format. You can provide one Word file, a PowerPoint file, or the transcript of a conversation where the proposal was actually just verbal. Yes, indeed, one thing where these generative AI tools are extremely good at is understanding context, understanding nuances, and really be very attentive to this kind of creating structure out of unstructured data, like text or PowerPoint or video or audio are.
Okay. Thank you. Let me take another, or maybe I combine two questions. David is asking, do you need a subscription for ChatGPT to do what you're demonstrating? And second, how does ChatGPT compare with other tools like Gemini?
Very good. Thank you for this. Okay, my answer is a flat yes. Please never use the free version of ChatGPT when you're treating confidential data. That will be immediately sent to OpenAI server to train their next model, and I'm not sure that your preferred customer would like to have that. Also, the personal pro subscription is dangerous because you have to manually switch the confidentiality and not sharing option off. I personally use the team subscription. You need at least 2 seats, so that's 60 euro per month. But that guarantees by contract the absolute confidentiality of all your conversation and your data, as the enterprise version does. On top of that, you gain much larger context window, much more files that you can read, much more prioritize access to the best servers and models that they have. So if you want to use it as a professional service, 30 euro a month is not really a lot. And the second question, how does it compare? I actually, if we have time, have a real case example where I've used Claude AI from Anthropic, which is one of their best competitors, to run a really a very complex exercise there. Not from B2B, but you can relate to it. I personally use half a dozen of them, and I have paid subscriptions to all of them. I tend to use Claude for writing, for coding, and for generating graphs and slides. Claude tends to be less robotic, much more human-like in its interaction. I use ChatGPT as my go-to, and also because of the easy way of creating custom GPTs, your own AI assistants. Gemini is fantastic if you evolve within Google, the Google ecosystem, and especially because the paid version, Gemini Advanced 1.5 Pro, has a gigantic context window of 1.5 million token, and I personally was able to dump a total of 600 PDF pages and of written text, completely unrelated, and have it analyzed and make a very nice structures. I then dumped onto Claude to generate fantastic interactive graphs.
Okay, thank you. Let me change again before we follow the other questions, because I think different people have different expectations. Some are more interested in tactical, let's say, issues, like specific prompts. But I think there are some people who maybe they run a company and they'll be interested in how to manage the whole thing, when it comes to implementing Gen AI. So maybe share a bit your opinion, because you mentioned the Pro subscription for ChatGPT gives more confidentiality. How would the company that deals with high sensitive data go about implementing Gen AI?
Very, very good question, because it is number one question now, slowing down a more generalized and widespread adoption of this kind of tools at companies. There are two reasons. One, of course, companies handling very highly confidential and high sensitive data have to ensure that at all times and at all cost. Number one. Number two, nobody really knows how secure or safe these new tools are, despite them telling us that they are safe and everything. They can show it. Basically, since 2 years ago, the AI labs like Google, Anthropic, OpenAI have made giant strides to really meet the security requirement of customers. But they started off with the wrong foot, basically telling everybody that they were not secure enough, confident enough. So there is this psychological resistance of the cybersecurity responsibles, the companies, in letting it go on the one hand, but also it's not really very much a problem of generative AI per se, is the fact that AI, in order to be fully functional and be secure, relies on 2 additional layers, which are its foundations: the data management layer and the IT infrastructure and cybersecurity. Any company willing to implement AI in general and generative AI in particular must do so with a proper data management system, which is already secured, and with a proper IT system, which is already, been sifted through and secured with all the new trends of cybersecurity protocols, because AI brings their own threats with them. Things like data poisoning, things like prompt injections, these things can be highly dangerous. And unless you already know how to handle all that, it is difficult to know where to stop. This is the kind of things that we as expat engineering actually are able to do. We can guide, these companies in try at least to find a place to start, how to rationalize all this.
Okay, thank you. Let me follow up with other questions in the chat. So maybe you can
by the way, answer all questions. If we are not able to answer a question now, we will follow up in writing to all the questions. So please make sure that you save them, Ioan.
All right, sounds good. Maybe you can go briefly. Can AI help us understand the risk in a contract, terms and conditions?
Absolutely, absolutely. The more you give information, the better. Yes, you can, for instance, explain the kind of companies you are, your DNA, are you risk averse or risk tolerant? Are the decisions taken centrally or widespread? Do you have a very good, legal team or not? And by providing who you are and what are your weak point and your strong point, and then what you want to do, and then uploading, this proposal of a contract with terms and conditions, you can ask specifically, please highlight, given the kind of, identity card I provided you for my company, what do you think could be a threat? What do you think would be a trap for us? Is this safe for us to walk into? And it will provide very good, typically very good food for thought, not just for you to take for granted, but then to go specifically into one by one and continue the discussion. And at a certain point, you can go to a lawyer and say, hey, is this really a problem or not? It is all typically very good as a first starting point to sifting through all the different things and prioritizing what is, either most profitable or most dangerous.
Okay. Nishant is asking, can you give examples of custom GPTs?
Yeah, I would like to have the time. Maybe we can, prepare a different webinar in 1 month or so where we will go dive into custom GPTs. I personally use one. Last year I gave 40 keynotes on AI, really to all sort of domains, functions in the industry. Since I'm always invited by a director of a council, I always spend 15 minutes with this person running through 6 to 10 questions. And those questions are proposed by a custom GPT I have prepared. The scope is for me to be able to align what I want to say with exactly what they want to hear, align my expertise with their expectations, and find out for me which slides I can reuse and where I have to go and do my homework. So it simply guides me and the director or the other person through a series of guided question. And what's nice about using custom GPTs instead of simply going through Excel is that sometimes some of those questions do not apply. And then you have the person on the other side of the phone telling, well, I don't know how to answer this question. But then you say, ChatGPT, hey, listen, we don't know how to answer this question. And you will be surprised the kind of recommendation that ChatGPT, the custom GPT, can provide you, like saying, okay, maybe you can view these questions more from a stakeholder point of view rather than your own staff or person point of view. And from that moment, it becomes much clearer. So you see, it's like having a McKinsey level consultant without the price associated with that.
Okay, we have 4 minutes left. Do you want to wrap up? Unless there's a burning question, like a big question, I'll keep my eyes on the chat. But I think
one thing, I've been showing things with ChatGPT because it's kind of the go-to platform for everybody. As I said, I use at least 6 of them every day. My personal preferred is Claude. I had prepared real-world examples using Claude and showing how Claude can write code and then show you dashboard which you can interact with. It is just fantastic. Try it yourself. It's limited for the free version, but it is extremely powerful. Basically, there is the real case example was throwing 1 year worth of TripAdvisor data and Booking.com data for a hotel in terms of the different services of this hotel and extract trends, extract areas of improvement, all this into a dashboard and with a slider that I could move month by month and having, you know, the graph modifying for the different functions of the hotel, how good or bad they were scoring for each month. It is really mind-blowing. Go and try it.
Okay, so we have 3 minutes left. We kind of wrap up. There are two or three tips on integrating AI into your sales strategy. If you want to explain this.
Sorry, I was really reading a question here. Is this some? Oh, yes.
We have 2 minutes, so maybe we wrap up with this, and then we
remember. This is if there is one thing that we would like you to remember is this 1, 2, 3 step approach. One is individual, fear to facts. Stop fearing. You can start doing something yourself. The second one is train your team from agony to action, having an entire team working together to improve the productivity of everybody. That's very strong. And third, once you have that, making sure that you know what it means having a successful AI implementation in your organization. Start small, start with a quick win that you can demonstrate in 3 months, but most importantly, define the metric for success before you start so that you can show that it works.
Okay. And finally, 1 minute to go. So let's wrap up here.
Okay, why don't you wrap up?
Okay, so thank you, Claudio, for the insights. Thank you, everybody, for participating. We would like to follow up with the people who are interested in discussing how they could adopt Gen AI safely into their companies, either in a sales function or in any other business function. Actually, we will do webinars on different topics. Could be from, you know, the CEO's first 90 days to senior leadership teams, strategy. In this case, we started to focus on the sales. So you have here Calendly. You can book a meeting with us, or just drop us an email, and we'll discuss how can we potentially support you, or simply we'd like to understand your needs and see whether there's a capability fit, basically. I saw there are some colleagues from Saudi Arabia. Claudio actually will be in Riyadh in a couple of weeks. Claudio will give a presentation at the LEAP conference. So if you're around, we'd like to meet for coffee, or maybe you participate in the event. Otherwise, yeah, let's connect online. We'll follow up with an email sharing the recording and a link to book a meeting with us if you're interested. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and let's stay in touch.